Cinema in minutes. In today's video, we will be going through a war action film entitled Stalingrad. There will be spoilers ahead, chill out and enjoy. The movie begins in Japan, March 2011. After the tragedy that hits Japan, international communities sent help in rescue operations. A doctor talks to the survivors that are trapped under building debris using the microphone attached to a remote camera. Nina, one of the survivors, describes their situation. Afterward, the doctor assures her that help is coming. Nina asks him to stay and just talk with her. Upon learning about Nina's family situation, he shares the story of his mother and her 5 fathers. The doctor starts his story in the autumn of 1942. Russian soldiers cross the Volga River. Then, we see 4 soldiers planning their entry to a building and cutting the wire connected to bombs. At the building, a German soldier named Captain Kahn sees the incoming Russian soldiers from the river. The 4 Russian soldiers, on the other hand, successfully sneak inside the building and take down enemy soldiers. A shootout takes place when the German soldiers fight back. Captain Gromov of the Russian soldiers is about to cut the wire of a bomb when Captain Kahn shows up. The 2 captains fight, but Kahn overpowers Gromov and he successfully detonates the bomb. The bomb set off, burning and killing Russian soldiers on the shore. A soldier attacks Kahn from behind but he kills it, then leaves. Outside, happens the battle of Russian soldiers against the German soldiers. Burning Russians take the front line and charge as the Germans shoot at them. There are also German planes taking on the Russians in the river. Going back into the building, we see Gromov and one of his men Shvanov hear a noise. Upon checking, Gromov sees a Russian soldier named Serge hanging from the ceiling. The captain cuts the ties of Serge and asks him about the Germans when Shvanov calls him. A German soldier holds a hostage. Fortunately, Nikiforov, one of Gromov's men, sneaks behind the man and attacks him. Then, they discover that the hostage is a woman. Afterward, another Russian soldier shows up and introduces himself as Polyakov. Together, the 5 soldiers sit with the woman. The doctor, then, states that the woman is her mother when she was younger, and the 5 soldiers are his fathers. Morning comes, a plane crashes and wakes the woman up. She finds Gromov talking to another soldier using the radio. He, then, tells her that she needs to leave or she'll die, to which she responds that she won't. The woman, then, asks for his canteen and leaves. Afterward, the woman asks for the 4 soldiers' canteen as well. In return, the soldiers ask for her name, to which she answers Katya. Meanwhile, a man named Officer Krasnov introduces himself to the captain. In the Germans' camp, the colonel asks Kahn why he let the Russians take over the building from him. He, then, tells him that they should take it back by the next day. Back to the Russians, a local woman with her child enter the building. They search for the box they're carrying but it's only sand and dirt. The woman says they use it to make porridge and asks to let them go. The scene changes to Kahn going to a place where the civilians live. He is visiting a Russian woman named Masha, whom he feels attracted to after seeing the resemblance of the woman to his deceased wife. Kahn keeps on talking, but the 2 cannot understand each other's language. Back to the Russians, Gromov is telling others that they can't let the enemies come through when Shvanov arrives and tells them about the happening in the square. In the square, the German soldiers made the civilians line up. Colonel Hense, then, asks the one who entered the building earlier with her child if she's a Jew. Although the woman denies it, the Germans take her and her child to be burned alive. Captain Gromov asks if Shvanov has a clear shot of the officer but it's negative. Kahn arrives and tries to stop it but Colonel Hense steps in. The Russian soldiers, along with Katya, watch as the Germans burn the mother and child alive. Katya begs for them to do something. Angered, Gromov snatches the sniper to Shvanov and shoots the soldier with a flamethrower. And on his signal, Russian soldiers attack the Germans. A battle to death occurs. Upon hearing that the mortars are ready, the Germans fall back as they attack the Russians with explosives, which make the Russians retreat as well. After the battle, Kahn goes to Masha. He finds her sulking in the corner while holding a knife. Captain Kahn just snatches away the knife from her and pulls her up, revealing her long hair. He, then, tears Masha's dress apart. Back to the Russians, Katya is treating Nikiforov's wound when she recognizes his name. She, then, tells him that she and her mother used to go to his concerts before the war. Shvanov arrives and tells Nikiforov that Gromov is looking for him. Before he leaves, Katya asks him if he could sing her a song one day. Confused, Shvanov asks about it and Katya shows him a poster of Nikiforov being a singer. Afterward, we see Gromov order Nikiforov, along with another soldier to take down the soldiers scavenging the plane for ammunition. The doctor, then, narrates Nikiforov's backstory. Nikiforov was a singer and a local celebrity before he enlisted himself as a volunteer when the war started. Then, we see Nikiforov easily taking down the Germans. The scene cuts back to Khan seating in the bed while Masha is naked. Afterward, Shvanov asks Katya if she wants to learn how to shoot. Then he mocks her for not telling them how she truly survived leaving with the Germans, then leaves. Triggered, Katya asks them if they want to ask her about it while crying, but no one asks a question. When Katya walks out, Serge plans to confront Shvanov but Polyakov stops him. Krasnov, then, tells Polyakov to calm Katya down, not knowing that Gromov is listening outside. Afterward, we see Polyakov talking to Katya about his family. The doctor, then, narrates that Polyakov's family died in a bombing. Sleepy, Katya asks to sleep in his lap, reminding him of his wife that used to do the same thing before. The scene cuts to Masha being mocked for being a fascist tramp. Then, Katya approaches Chvanov and asks him to teach her to use a gun. Upon looking at the scope, Katya spots Masha. Chvanov jokingly tells her to shoot her, which she didn't find funny. Katya, then, sees a German about to fetch water. Chvanov tells her to shoot him. Gromov tries to stop them but Katya already pulled the trigger, killing the German. Gromov scolds them, but Chvanov argues that it's a German soldier. It turns out that his family is killed by German soldiers as well. The doctor narrates how Chvanov's family is killed by the Germans, especially his younger brother that was killed because his name was the same as Lenin. Katya butts in, saying that she kills the soldier when enemies shoot back at them. Chvanov tries to fight back but he is shot in the arms. The scene changes to German soldiers arriving at the civilians' place. Seeing Masha and Captain Khan together, Colonel Hensa mocks Captain Khan for falling for a Russian woman and failing to hold the building. Meanwhile, Gromov tells Katya that she needs to leave. The guys are starting to fall for her, and if she dies, everyone will fall apart. But Katya says she wants to stay and fight with them. Gromov is about to decline, using age as an excuse, but Katya shows him her passport. He sees that it's her birthday and she's already 19. The captain, then, leaves, telling Katya that he'll tell the others about her birthday. Outside, Serge waits for him and tells him to leave Katya alone. Pissed, Gromov punches him and reminds him that Katya is not his. Afterward, we see Katya treating Chvanov's wound while they're watching the Germans prepare their weapons and ammunition. On the other hand, the civilians are being taken by the Germans to the station. Khan arrives and looks for Masha. He, then, takes a vehicle and drives in the middle of the crowd until he finds her. Back at the Russians, Serge and Polyakov successfully ricochet a bullet to the Germans' camp, causing a domino of explosions. Upon celebrating, we hear the doctor narrate Serge's backstory. He's the only survivor from his unit that was tasked to defend the town. Then, we see Khan takes Masha to their camp where Colonel Hensa greets him with a scolding. Khan swears that he will take back the building, in exchange for letting Masha stay there for a while. The colonel agrees but threatens to kill him if he fails. The scene changes to Katya visiting a grave nearby. The doctor narrates that Katya is the only survivor, not just from her family but from her friends and neighbors as well. And she is also the one that buried them. Meanwhile, Serge is looking for a present for her when Nikiforov grabs him. Telling Nikiforov his goals, he helps Serge in finding the bathtub that Serge is talking about. In the Germans' camp, Khan orders his men to fix the cannon of the tank. Then, we see Khan encouraging his men to take the building back. Upon seeing the Germans, Gromov orders his men to take in position. Serge and Polyakov take Katya upstairs while the captain, Chvanov, and Nikiforov pretend to be dead soldiers. When the German enters the building and lowers their guard upon seeing dead soldiers, the three take the opportunity to attack them. Polyakov and Serge quickly back them up. Chvanov, then, positions in the machine gun and shoots at the enemies outside. The 5 soldiers successfully push the Germans away. Gromov even had Khan captured, but he's distracted by Chvanov fighting an enemy, allowing Khan to escape. At their camp, Colonel Hensa scolds Khan for failing again. He, then, tells him that he'll go back to the headquarters for a while. After the colonel is gone, Khan's soldier notifies him that the cannon is ready. Meanwhile, Gromov goes to Katya again, telling her to leave, when they luckily evade the cannon's shell. Fortunately for them, the Germans' cannon is stuck again, disabling them to shoot once more. Then, we hear the doctor narrate Captain Gromov's story. He is nothing but a man of war. No family, no relationship, and no home. Katya is the first woman he cares about, same as her house became his first ever home. Gromov quickly crawls over to Katya, begging her to leave, but she still declines. And then, they kiss. Meanwhile, we also see Masha reciprocating Khan's love as they spend more time together. Afterward, the soldiers give Katya a small birthday celebration. Nikiforov also plays piano and sings for her. After the celebration, they give her a hot bath as a gift. Outside, the soldiers talk about their life in the war. Meanwhile, Khan promises Masha that he will take her to safety, to a place where Germans nor the Russians go. Back to the Russians, Serge goes to Katya and tells her that he will take her somewhere. Then, they go to his previous lookout spot. He tells Katya that he loves her, to which she responds with a smile. Then, we see Khan takes Masha to the same building to hide her, promising that he will be back for her. Afterward, Gromov is surprised to see Polyakov in the bath. He, then, orders Nikiforov to look for Katya and Serge. The scene changes to Khan leaving the building when Masha follows her. Shvanov, who's watching them through his sniper, shoots Masha in the head. Shocked, Khan falls to his knees when he hears an explosion nearby. Meanwhile, Nikiforov fights German soldiers coming his way, but Khan appears behind him and shoots him, taking him as a prisoner. In their camp, Colonel Hensa praises Khan for catching a Russian soldier, but Nikiforov manages to kill the colonel before being shot to death by Khan. With him back in command and the reinforcements arriving, they attack the building. Serge is about to go back to the building, but Katya wants to go with him. However, he tells her to stay. He also tells her again that he loves her, to which she finally responds that she loves him too. Led by tanks in front, they shoot the building consecutively, killing Shvanov in the process. Polyakov survives the attack and manages to fight for a while, but is also killed by Khan, who's looking for Gromov. He is trying to connect to the headquarters when Khan finds him. The two captains shoot each other until they fall down. Serge arrives and is about to shoot Khan, but Gromov stops him. He orders him to connect to the headquarters instead, which he successfully does. Upon connecting, he quickly asks for an airstrike in their area. After confirming their request, Serge, Gromov, and Khan look up, waiting for their death. Before their death, Serge assures Gromov that Katya is safe and that she loves him very much. Meanwhile, Katya watches helplessly while crying as the building crumbles to the ground. Then, the doctor reveals that he is named after his father, Serge. But his mother keeps on reminding him that he has 5 fathers. Back to the present where Nina and the others are finally rescued, she is looking for Dr. Sergei. The movie ends with Nina, a German, sharing a moment with Dr. Sergei, a Russian, before he leaves. Thanks for watching, subscribe for more videos like this and to help the channel grow.